Hey everyone, so you've probably heard of tools like Datadog or Prometheus, right? But before we even dive into any specific tool, we really need to answer a much more basic question. What is the whole point of monitoring in the first place? All right, let's get into it.
And that brings us to the one question that really sets the stage for everything else we're going to talk about when it comes to system reliability.
I mean, seriously, why do we do this? Why do we spend all this time, all this effort, setting up these complicated dashboards and alerts? The answer, it turns out, reveals this massive, fundamental shift in how we build technology today. To really get the why, we've got to take a step back and look at how much things have changed. See, the need for monitoring didn't just pop up out of thin air. It's a direct response to the absolute explosion of complexity in modern software. This right here says it all. Back in the day, things were kind of simple. You had one server, it ran one application. If that server went down, well, it was pretty obvious. The whole thing was just off. But today, it's a whole different ballgame. We're living in this world of countless services, all spread out across who knows how many servers. Failure isn't a simple on or off switch anymore. It can be silent, hidden, lurking deep inside the system. And that right there is the central problem, the real challenge that every modern engineering team is up against. We can call it the silent failure.
And this is the core of it. This is the big, frustrating disconnect. All your servers might be running, every light on your dashboard might be green, but for your users, the experience is completely broken. This is the dangerous new reality of complex systems. They can fail in 100 subtle ways that those old-school up or down checks will just completely miss.
So, what does this silent failure actually look like in the real world? Well, it looks like this. It's that flood of support tickets from users saying the app is painfully slow or that their payments keep failing. And at the same time, you're looking at your basic server stats and you're scratching your head because everything looks fine. The CPU is low, memory looks totally normal. Without a deeper look, you're just flying blind, trying to solve a problem you can't even see.
So how do we fight this? How do we get visibility into these complex, hidden issues? Well, the solution is actually pretty easy to understand when you think about it with a really simple but powerful analogy. Just let this idea sink in. I mean, you would never drive a modern car without a working dashboard, right? So you shouldn't even think about running a modern application without its monitoring equivalent.
So let's break this down a bit. In your car, the speedometer tells you how fast you're going. In monitoring, that's your application's response time. The fuel gauge, that's your system resources, like how much disk space you have left. And those really important warning lights that flash when something's wrong, well, that's your error rate, screaming that something is actively broken. It's all about having the right information to operate your system safely and effectively.
Okay, but here's where we need to go a little deeper, because if you think monitoring is just about getting an alert when something breaks, you're really only seeing a tiny piece of the puzzle. There's a much deeper purpose to all of this.
Seriously, I really want to hammer this point home. Alerts are part of monitoring for sure, but they are not the point of monitoring. An alert is a reactive signal. It's the smoke alarm going off. The true value is in being proactive, in understanding what causes the smoke in the first place.
So here's what it's really all about. The goal is to get these three things. First, visibility, being able to actually see what's happening inside your system. Second, understanding behavior, knowing what's normal so you can immediately spot what's not normal. And third, learning, finding out how your system actually behaves under real-world stress and pressure. And when you have that visibility and that understanding, that's when you can start answering the questions that really matter when things go wrong. Is this slowdown we're seeing just a normal Tuesday traffic spike, or is it something new and scary? Did this huge wave of errors start the exact moment we pushed that new code? Is the problem in our servers, our application itself, or somewhere in the network? Good monitoring turns panicked guessing into confident knowing.
All right, so let's bring it all home. Let's focus on the big takeaway here. Why does mastering this concept actually matter for anyone building or running software today?
And this is the big idea I really want to leave you with. The goal isn't just to be a faster firefighter rushing to put out the latest blaze. The real goal is to become an architect who designs a more fireproof building from the start. Monitoring gives you the knowledge to not only fix today's problem, but to understand why it happened so you can build a stronger and more resilient system for tomorrow.